Welcome back. 270,000 veterans who have served in the Middle East have now been treated for post-traumatic stress disorder. The Veterans Administration has relied on therapy and medications for treatment. But as we learned here on Exit 1055 Long Island, there's a group of veterans who say they found that laughter is actually the best medicine.
Growing up, I had lots of energy, and it was very apparent to me when in 7th grade they made my mom sit behind me in class for like 3 months.
Patrick Donohue survived his tour of duty in Afghanistan, although with lots of psychic scars at what he saw there. Yet for Donohue, getting up on stage to perform stand-up comedy Saturday night in Bethpage felt nearly as nerve-wracking.
Anxiety is the #1 factor. You know, it takes a lot to get up there and get on stage.
Patrick Donohue founded the Project 9 Line for returning Long Island veterans. The nonprofit volunteer organization is using the arts, including stand-up comedy, to help veterans overcome the trauma of war.
One day my son asked me, he said, "Daddy, what did you do in the Navy?" I said, "Son, you're 37 years old. What the hell are you talking about that?"
About a dozen veterans have been taught stand-up comedy by professional comic John Consoli, who's also a veteran.
Most of us have heard the term foxhole humor. So maybe to take some of the dark things that they've experienced and look at them from a different perspective and kind of laugh in the face of those things.
Does anybody ever walk into a supermarket? Why am I the one that gets the cart with the wheel?
Army veteran Ron Santoro helped to lead the invasion of Baghdad in 2003. Now his wife Emily says their marriage has been liberated by laughter.
It gives me a purpose as well, especially to see him, having an outlet, which for the past 10 years he hasn't.
A red flag should come up when you hear, "Yacht money for food, but none for rent, so get a loan with us at 200%.
It's a real-life remedy that has these veterans laughing their way to recovery. 200%. And I always get that grocery cart, too, you know. And then joining us now to talk about this are Patrick Donohue, founder of the Project 9 Line, and Brian Cutaia, also a top exec over there at the Project 9 Line, and one of the professional comics who helped to train these veterans how to perform on the stage. Welcome to the show, both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So that was a pretty funny show. I was there Saturday night. I wasn't sure what to expect. These veterans are funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been taught for 8 weeks by me and John Consoli, and they destroyed on stage. They absolutely killed it, and it was awesome to see.
Yeah, you probably were like a proud father, right? You don't know whether they're going to melt down when they get... Because anybody who's ever tried to get up on stage, it's intimidating for the average person. And these folks went into combat. You imagine the stereotype of the grizzled veteran, and now you tell them to be funny. It doesn't necessarily always, translate, but it did in this case, didn't it?
It really did. And these comics, these veteran comics now, had a little gift even beforehand, like you could see it, and then throughout the 8 weeks, every week you saw them get better and better and better, and by like the 6th week, me and John Consoli were laughing,
Well, who came up with this idea?
I did, actually. He had the idea for Project 9 Line. We founded the organization together.
With the arts, the idea that let's use the arts, and then you came along and said, hey, well then that means comedy too, right?
Comedy is an art form.
It certainly is.
Like, well, why not, use that toward it, and together we put on, now music shows, everything. This comedy aspect is what I brought into it. We taught 7 veterans. It started with a group of 12, went down to 7, and
they're getting paid too, right?
Now they got paid. So what we did is we helped veterans through the art and entrepreneurship. So now they showcased their material, and this show they actually got paid.
Well, Patrick, it seems like it's working, at least by the laughs and smiles I witnessed. This is really an innovative approach. That's why, you were on here before, and we actually brought you guys back, because first you told us about how you were going to try this. We went and filmed it, saw it. It was a big success. And now we want to bring you back on to follow up, as we call it in this business, because it seems to me like other people should be trying this. Are you hearing that anybody else is interested in this approach?
Well, there needs to be a new approach, and because the old systems that are in place are helpful. Yeah, they're not up to standards, I don't believe. There needs to be more done, and we found a way to do that.
How do you think this has changed the dynamic for these veterans who, daily have to deal with this trauma that most of us can't understand if we've never been in combat?
Yeah.
How has this changed the way they approach dealing with just getting through every day?
Well,
I think we give them a new hobby, something new to do. A lot of times the veterans come home and you know, they wind up like just sitting on the couch, not knowing what they do. One of the veteran comics were like, how can I go back to my job at Ruby Tuesdays? Yeah. And then he started taking the class, and he you know, brightened up, and you could see it. Each week he got healthier. And you could physically see it.
Well, it was really quite remarkable. One of my favorite jokes was about every time the news media forecasts snow, he can't get any milk because everybody runs to the store and buys milk. He says, how come you have to have milk when it snows? Yeah. Something I never even thought of. What is the hardest thing about getting up on stage? And we only have a few seconds, Brian.
It's, you know, right before you go up, getting that first laugh. As long as you get that first laugh, everything is, you know, golden after that. But that first 30 seconds until that first good laugh, that's the hardest part, just to try to, you know, once you get that, you're golden.
Well, you definitely got those, and, you know, I know all about your childhood growing up now, Patrick, and, you know, and I'm glad we can laugh about it. Yeah. Actually, I related to half of it, but it was our pleasure to have you here again. Patrick Donohue, Brian Cutaia, Project 9 Line, thanks for the laughs and the lessons.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.